all kinds. And but I was godless, and I was atheistic. You know, I didn't have any spirituality, and I was political, and I marched on Washington for civil rights, and I burned my bra for women's liberation, and I sat in and disrupted, you know, classes for ending the war in Vietnam and for ending the draft. So I was a politico, and I was godless, and then but I was still doing LSD. And then I read Ram Dass's "Be Here Now," which was and I saw the white light. I actually saw during an LSD trip this white light, which no one else. I couldn't talk to a lot of people about that in those days. I couldn't talk to a lot of people about that. One day, I was giving a party at the end of school, and I invited some friends from my class and my professor and whatever. And one of the people came to my party with a bottle of Kahlua, and it had LSD in it, a lot of LSD, and it was half empty because he had already drank the first half. And he handed it to me and he said, "This is some Kahlua with LSD. Would you like it?" And I drank the rest. And for this person who came to my party, it was the first time that he had ever done LSD. And the first time he ever did LSD, before he did LSD, I think he was probably godless. And then after, he had seen the white light. So he wanted to talk to me about it, and we got together the next day to discuss that. It was the first person I ever could talk to about this spiritual connection with the divine through LSD or through psychedelics. And he was on that same wavelength, and I just got that we were, you know, family. You know, like I feel like family with you guys. And so we never left each other. And so that was 35 years ago. And that was Alex. And for the first time, we did it for the first time in my apartment, his first LSD trip. And we shared it, and it was a bond for life. So I am proud to say that, and I've said this before, some of you heard me say this before, that I'm very proud to say that I'm the person who is the last one to say goodnight and the first one to say good morning to my favorite, my beautiful Alex Gray. Getting situated, as you can see. It's a little... You want to sit here? Okay, let me sit over here. Well, we'll get it worked out.
All right. Thank you so much for that extraordinary... there's only one person that could give an introduction like that, and that's my favorite person in the world, Allison. Thank you so much, Allison. See, on that acid trip, just earlier in that day, just like there was the last day of school, I was broke, and I said, God, if you are out there, I really need a sign. And so by that evening, I was tripping in this girl's apartment, and I was going through a tunnel. I was in the dark, but I was going toward the light, and it was a spiritual light. And it was, since I was in the dark but going toward the light down this tunnel, I could see that gray was what connected the opposites, and so I felt like that would be my mission, would be to connect the opposites through my art, and that in fact was what the cosmos is doing all the time. So, in fact, it bore fruit because when we got together, we never left 35 years ago. And it was yeah, it's all about polar unity. Yeah, so we'll get to that. But